BD5 Pilot with you on a beautiful Labor Day. It's nice and sunny outside, and what a better day to be working on the plane. You know, this Portland, Hillsborough, Beaverton area is actually one of the birthplaces of experimental aviation. Just a few miles from here, where the Cedar Hills Crossing Mall is now, was the original location of Bernard's Airport, which was opened in 1928. It was opened right after another field, Wattsfield, was about a half mile south of it. But those two airports are actually credited by the Air and Space Museum, Smithsonian, with being the birthplace of experimental aviation. There was a lot of activity, a lot of people coming out of World War I and then World War II that were building new designs and experimenting with home-built aircraft. And word has it that a large group of those pilots actually flew out to Washington to fight for the ability to have the rights to build experimental aircraft. I think that was back in the 60s. In 1968, though, Bernard's Airport was closed, and then they constructed the mall, which was originally called Bernard's Mall, I believe, but it's now called the Cedar Hills Crossing. But we have a long history of labor here in this Pacific Northwest of working on aircraft. Let's go see what I got done on the plane today. You'll recall how I was working on those step-down transformers, and there they are. That's where I ended up mounting them, and they are grounded to that chassis there, because that's right next to the main ground that comes off the battery. So that should work just fine. We do have to eventually get the power hooked up to them, and that's going to be running through a backup battery. So I guarantee that I keep power going to the motor in case I do have an electrical problem. I have two batteries that will handle that ignition system, and it'll automatically take over if I lose power in the primary system. The rest of those grommets are there for feeding the engine wires through that basically feed the tachometer and the information that that electronic ignition is going to need. Remember, I already built the box up above there, and that's designed to work as a module. So I can have these 4 ignition units ready to slide in and hook those wires up. So I'll give you a little demo of how that's going to look here in just a second. And there you have what ends up being a pretty clean install for the electronic ignition system. With I'll need to color code, do something to kind of mark these so I know where all of these ignitions go. It's a dual ignition system on each cylinder. So I have a total of 8 spark plugs in this 4-cylinder engine. And then these that have to deal with the timing of that electronic ignition come from the engine parts that pass through here and then back up through here. And from the other side, I'll have to do a little bit of wire stays to clean that up, keep it up out of the way, but ends up with a real nice clean installation for the electronic ignition system. Also got the power for the VPX ready to hook up. I'm going to put that VPX unit back in now. And there, VPX unit's back in. Other wires will be tucked behind, and as I get the rest of the harness together, I'll be able to clean those up and keep them from rubbing against other parts of the chassis. But ever closer all the time. Pretty clean looking bird. I think this is going to be one slick little aircraft when I get done with it. So I'm going to call it quits for Labor Day. Go home, relax with my family, maybe watch a movie. I know I'll be playing with that little terrorist, Percy. He's 3 months old now, a little over 18 pounds, and very energetic little dog. So you all have a great Labor Day, everyone. If you have a chance to go flying, go do it. BD5 Pilot is out for now. Don't forget to hit that like button.